Okay, here's my assumptions and assertions. What do you call it? Okay, here's my conceptualization on space-time and the continuity and how to transcend space-time. Okay, this is what I understand. Imagine a boat in the sea. Now, there's a velocity of water rushage, and that there is transcending space-time according to motion. Now, it's just like motion is gravity. What is it caused by? Well, it's energy. So they found out that having 3 Tesla coils and manipulating their thrust, their velocity through time and space, but not just like it'd sound like velocity, right? But there's charge. The motion of the charge, so that amps, is it? Yeah, like the speed of the amps. So if you have a vessel that can go 9,000 amps per second, that's cool. But when I look at it from an animator's point of view, and motion over time, which all actions produce a result, and with that Moore's law thing, the guy that says you can't get any energy out of anything if it doesn't have any energy put into it. You can only get out of something the energy that you put in it. So when it comes to time, as in the view of an animator, there is the frame rates. So that's kind of saying, what is the refresh rate of the amps coming out of it? So you can have the voltage amount and the current amount, and those are cool. Those give you a force field of energy around you if you make it that way inclined and that way to be safe. You keep yourself safe from those energies. Like my moustache over here is imbalanced. I did not trim it enough. I got on with my day and others noticed and I didn't notice. So you've got to notice what's going on around you. If the refresh rates are 25 frames per second, like most cameras in New Zealand, it's the refresh rate per second. So it's something going past you like sleight of hand in a nanosecond or whatever. But the thing is, if you have very fast rates, they transcend time. They go beyond the time of what you see. So what might be? You're going at a faster frame rate than visibility. So you did see it. But apparently, a guy named Gregoroff, he found out that beetles, dung beetles, from Egypt, they roll dung, right? But on their wings, before they lifted off, certain bugs used to levitate first. So he wanted to know how did they do this. He just happened to bring magnets next to these wings, and they would have a pointy part, and they would used to point their wings down before they went flying away. So the sideway friction helped it to cup and ear wing like wings. But the thing is, they had this funny pointing down system going on, and he wondered why were they levitating. Turned out when you put a magnet next to those wings, the pointy parts, they always seem to go down, so down towards the earth. So it told him that the magnetism of it was top heavy of charge, but it always escaped and blew out like a current out of the point. So what happened is exactly that. There was a thrust system discovered. So they used to tie these onto boards that have rudders and stuff wired on or tied on or glued, however they stuck it on. but they always knew that the bottom was diamagnetic on the point, so they can pretty much flap them like wings and point them, and when they come together like a whole wing does, many diamagnetical points on a wing, a feather, 10,000 per feather, and then they have a whole stack of feathers, and they just get a whole wings made out of these things, and then they just flap those wings. Literally they could go 10,000 kilometers per second. And that was going bloody fast in those days. Well, there weren't so many planes, so they came up with these viruses to try to stop people from having air flight and spend more time buzzing around on their real fast UFOs that won't smash and kill many planes. So there were zones where only the planes would fly, and helicopters go other zones, and there were places where you can practice in these things where none of those were allowed to go. So motion, it's not really about transcending the motion per se. If you want to go hop through time, you have to have a plasmatic field around you, or like a electromagnetical field that's moving in a certain thrust velocity, and you can produce polarity in a particular direction as well, causing what part of time you go through, or into, or back from. Okay, so I know that if I set my animation to go very fast, it will do exactly that. Or like if we set it for slow, as we all know what slow down means, it's moving very slow. So how come they say how come they say that if you speed it up, it goes far too fast for the eye to see, and to the point that it can loop back onto the past of time. Somehow it goes around in a loop, it comes around back around again. So what happened with these people, with these Grigorov beetle things, was that they would fly up in space such a velocity and speed and stuff that it produced this kind of friction. It generated this energy force field around them. But then they found out that they could cause the thrusts of the diamagnetic points to come together in unity in such a fashion that the electromagnetic force fields around it produced a force field of its own and protecting. So if you're protected from other EM fields around and other forms of gravity, things that were swinging through space, if you're protected and shielded, then you step outside of space, and time becomes irrelevant when you are shielded from time. See, all the world is drinking from the same river, but if you can step yourself into a bubble that separates itself and transcends and goes far beyond the speed of that bubble, it can affect the other bubble. If you come out of that bubble, then are you in the rain of the shower? No. You're in your own rate of shower. Just like a bug buzzing his wings. In order to come to the 0 point, you have to resonate with your own sound and the force field that you make. And you have to become separate from the reality and the rate that is in this realm or world or area. Okay, so this space. So you have to step into your own space, another little mini microspace, a bubble of sorts.